Welcome back, everyone. This is my desert ironwood trailing knife that I made. It was 3 pieces that were given to me by a coworker. He wanted me to put them together for a memorabilia piece for his dad. His dad was a big hunter, and they just really liked this knife. It's got to be from like the 60s or 70s. There's a flea market price on the knife itself on that little envelope that was for like $2.75 or something like that. It was real low. Just polished up the brass. Here I am using the ice pick. I love the ice pick. This wood was super gummy. If you've ever worked with ironwood, it's a very dense wood. It's very heavy. And my drill press didn't get deep enough, so I obviously switched to the drill bit, and you can see how heavy and gummy it is because my drill bit is smoking as I'm taking it out. But definitely looking forward to finding some more of this wood. I'm going to do a little bit more with it. It looks really good with brass, just like a walnut. In fact, I might even be in love with this wood a little bit more than walnut. It's got a real red tint to it. Really good when you finally polish it up. I'm doing a little bandsaw work here, just roughing it in, giving myself guidelines to work to. And then I came in and I knew I wanted to preemptively grind this finger press in the top wheel of my little sander. There is perfect. I got this tip from Jimmy. I keep my epoxy taped together. It's always together, and I use these little skewer sticks. They're great for mixing up the epoxy and placing it in. See, I'm just placing it around. And I think I was pretty lucky because everything was pretty flat and true when I got it down on that. I think I gave it like a pre-sanding off camera, so that way I could square everything off. And as you notice, you can already see that the guard is a little bit offset from the wood. The trickiest part of this whole thing was shaping that to the guard itself. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be too thin when I had done it, but I was really happy with this knife. It was probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever made. It's very fun. I'm drilling for the pins right now. And you can tell I hit the steel, and it's obviously going to cook the wood a little bit. Giving light presses. This allows me to get through, and then I had to shift it. That way I had a pass through. These little blocks that I got are great because I'm able to get a square reference up higher. Here I am grinding the pins down, and there's the epoxy again with the little trick like I said. Love these little skewers. And I'm mixing it up. Just gonna put a little bit in there so that way when the pin goes down, I'm able to follow it in. And I think I left a little bit of roughness on them so that way there's something to grip to, and a little bit of ball peen. On the music version, my music speeds up right here, which gives it a nice pacing. You can find my music versions in my link tree. You can go to my Instagram, or you can go to my Patreon to find it too, if anyone's interested. A couple more guidelines to follow. Just to get myself a little bit closer. I like to leave myself a lot of play and file the rest of the way. Or sand. I used the belt sander on this one, which was worked out pretty good. I was really happy. I'm not too worried about the perfection of it. You can see I'm doing a little bit of back sanding too. It's how I get a nice round shape around the turn. Because ultimately I know I'm going to sand it. It's a super like fine sawdust too. Very interesting wood. Very red. You can see my little aperture light up there in the background. I had just purchased the light. It worked great. I can't recommend those lights enough. Just need a little light that you can throw up at any given point to give you a good casting of lighting. It's great. This I just went for it. I just did a little lean and gave it like a nice taper, and it came out really, really good. So here's the part where I'm talking about. I just come in, I got my little O light on. I come in and I just lean it in and I just keep rounding it out slowly, dialing it more and more. And as I bring in each side, I'm making sure I taper every side equally. Gradually, I obviously cross dissolved a lot of it because it was a lot to take in. You can see I've already tapered off that guard a little bit, and it turned out really, really cool. I mean, just that whole grip itself felt really, really good. The pins felt good. Everything was really, really great about this knife. I got my vise there. That's a piece of rubber that stops me from marring up the blade itself. And I love doing this. I love coming in for a final polish on anything I do, even wood. You'd be amazed how much a polisher will do. I have several different wheels. One I keep clean with no wax, so that way I can do like a final polish. And a little bit of hand sharpening here, just making sure I can get it to where it'll grab the nail. Then I take it over to my leather belt strap with a little bit of white compound, and I get it razor sharp. I love this little leather belt. And I figured, why not a little bit of walrus oil? So I started with a little bit of walrus oil, and I might not have did it on camera. I did a little bit of beeswax. A beeswax and a buff. And it came out beautiful. Final showing of the knife. This was a true pleasure putting this knife together, and I can't thank my friend from work enough. Down below, I'm going to put some links to like the strap that I used on the leather belt. I can't recommend that enough. And a couple other products. Some of these products help me out through Amazon and help the channel out. So I appreciate the support. And thank you for any comments and likes. Appreciate the love. Thank you.